Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.
What? Was that you, Grant?
That was me. I added that.
I love it. Welcome in. Welcome to Sports with Balls.
You just add your own thing to the end of that?
I just echoed him.
Oh.
I echoed him.
Echoed
Gotcha.
him. Echoed him.
Welcome.
What is up, everybody?
7 p.m. on a Friday night, man. And listen, the weather could not be better right now.
It's kind of cold, though.
Did you say kind of cold?
Sounds like my
When
wife.
you live in Houston,
when it gets
man.
below 80 degrees, my wife's like, "Oh, cold fronts come in."
It is not cold
no,
at all.
it's not.
It's not 1,000 degrees, which is phenomenal. And
Yes.
tonight's going to be in the 60s. Like I'm stoked to get home, sit on my patio, relax, and
The only night I forget a jacket.
watch the Lakers win. Probably.
Yeah, you got Lakers game tonight. That's
Yeah,
right.
Lakers game starts at 8, right after us. But again, welcome to Christian's Tailgate, 7 o'clock, Sports with Balls. We're here at 5114 Kirby at Christian's Tailgate. So thank you guys for paying attention, joining in. We're going to talk about sports for an hour.
Let's do it. Are they
Of
gonna
course,
have
we got
balls?
to break all into football. What was that about?
He said we're going to talk about sports, and I said, "Do they have balls?"
Yes.
Because we're sports with balls.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I did play golf today, speaking of balls.
what Friday do you not play golf?
Yeah, let's
Is the question.
Yeah, let's get that straight first
I
and
only played
foremost.
12 holes today because my wrist was messing up. So, but I played good. I was excited. So I played with my dad this morning. It was nice because of the U.S. Open, which we're gonna get into in a minute with Lauren's 2-minute drill. Y'all ready to just hit it?
Let's do it.
Lauren's 2-minute drill brought to you by Joe
Boom.
Applewhite. Joe Applewhite. He's in the bottom 20, but like Tiger, I love Tiger Woods, man. Like he's one of my favorite athletes of all time.
Absolutely.
And we discussed this a little bit before the show. He doesn't prepare for these tournaments anymore. You know, he does his thing, whatever, and he thinks he can come in and win them. But these guys are phenomenal. They're hitting 400 yards, and Tiger's just not, you know, especially with the U.S. Open and the way the roughs are. If you miss the fairway by 2 feet, you're in bad trouble.
And they're playing every week.
Yeah, and they're
So,
playing.
I mean, these guys he's playing against are playing every week, and they're preparing as such. And Tiger, like you said, I mean, it's perfect. That's great. You just show up. You can't expect to just show up, especially at Tiger's age, and just win a U.S. Open.
I agree. And he's plus 10, missed the cut. So no Tiger Woods for the weekend.
No Tiger Woods, but what else happened was the tennis U.S. Open, and I know that you had a lot to say about that too.
Dude, I know y'all
You
a lot
love all
of
these
people probably
Opens.
didn't watch this U.S. Open, the tennis U.S. Open, but it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. This guy, it was a 4.
Academy, although they've gotten in some trouble. He kind of went away from that. They got into a lot of trouble. But he's he really takes that mentor role, that coaching role, very serious, and I'm not shocked that he did that. I'm sure. I just wonder, anytime you have a superior athlete like these guys, like Magic. I know Magic tried to coach the Lakers at one point. Utter failure. I mean, these guys that are really top-notch, top-level at their sport.
Does it translate into coaching?
It's tough.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because you can't expect people to do, because
He's
you
done-
have an expectation.
Well, the thing is, he's done great at Trinity Christian.
Yeah.
He like blew out like
They won a state championship, I believe.
they
Right,
already
right.
had a game this season.
Yeah,
Man,
no,
they
and-
blew
and-
it out. It was a couple weeks ago.
I believe that Dion could do well. And I think that's a great spot for him. It's not a huge job, but it's manageable. It's a smaller job. He's getting to coach
I think that's
college
why.
athletes.
I think that's why he picked
I
Jackson
think-
State. Remember, was it last year? Like Miami, they were saying the Hurricanes. They were looking to do, or Florida State. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Florida
State
State
was looking at him, and there was a rumor he was going. That's just too big of a
Yeah, no, I
stage
don't- I
at
don't
this
think-
point.
yeah.
Now, if he does well at Jackson State, who's to say he can't go do
They can
that?
platform him
Right.
to that,
So
put him there, yeah.
I agree with what he's doing. Start small.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's.
I
think
love
he'll do
Dion.
well.
Dion's an incredible personality.
Dude. Well, he's a Cowboy and won a Super Bowl
Oh,
with the Cowboys.
Of course.
So
Of course.
Of course I love Dion. And he lives in Dallas Fort Worth area. So.
Where's that button, Johnny?
He's too busy. He knows better.
All right, and then like I said, the 2-minute drill was quick and easy, so we'll move on to the huge game last night that was so fun and exciting to watch that nobody was expecting it to be what it was. The Bengals versus the Browns. And of course, what did we learn from this game? Nick Chubb can eat. Instead of freaking feed Ezekiel Elliott,
So
feed
can
Chubb.
Hunt.
Yeah.
So can Kareem Hunt. I mean,
Right, right.
their backfield. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, like back there. Obviously, Kareem Hunt's it's a 1-2 punch, and Kareem Hunt's a number 2, but he could be a number 1 in any backfield. I mean, that dude is a beast as well.
Well, and you also have Stefanski, who's the new head coach,
Yep.
offensive coordinator for the Browns. And, from what we've seen, his prior career, man, he was 14 years with the Minnesota
With the
Vikings,
Vikings, yep.
in all kinds of roles. But he comes from that Delvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, run heavy, play action system, and he just brings it to Cleveland. And, of course, you have the Bengals last night that don't have their best defensive player, Adkins, in the middle, their defensive tackle. His
Oh, and you
backup,
definitely noticed that.
his backup was not there. So his game plan was, we're just going to run it down their throat. And that's exactly what they did.
Exactly. And what we got to see last night, too, it was exciting to see Baker actually come out and deliver like he wanted to, being drafted in 2018. And Joe Burrow was trying to do last night. We saw his efforts. He was trying. He had no protection. And the D-line for like you just said, the Bengals, they were just like,
Joe
Browns
Burrow.
were running straight through them.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow looked great. I mean, I'm sorry. I know he had his frustrating moments, but that pass that he threw to, I forgot who caught it in the back of the end zone. There was only one place you could put that ball, and he put it there. I mean, he looked good. And, I mean, he lost, but, it's the first time in Joe Burrow's career he's ever lost 2 games in a row,
That's
going
what
back
he
to
said,
the high
Nick.
school,
Yeah.
college,
Yeah.
This guy's going to be good. And Baker Mayfield, I'm not a huge Baker Mayfield fan. He for some reason can't figure out what his identity is.
Yeah.
Does he need to run the ball? Is he a deep thrower? Is he a seam route? He just doesn't know where he fits in a system, and it's not necessarily his fault. What does he have? 4 coaches in 5 years?
Well, yeah, it's his first time. I think in his 3 years
Or
that
3
he's been
years,
with
yeah.
Cleveland, he's had a different head coach and offensive coordinator each
2 years.
all 3 years. So it's
I think I'm
Yeah.
going back to college too. Baker Mayfield has never had like a coach around him for numerous years in a row to where he can figure out a system that works for him. But when you have a running game behind him, like we said at the top with Chubb and Hunt, wow! I mean, you can do a lot.
215 yards rushing.
Well, you saw
Browns
we
had.
saw the connection last night, the OBJ 40-yard touchdown pass.
Which was not
from
a
Baker.
touchdown.
That's right. That's right.
I'm sorry, but that was not a touchdown.
But
his knee was, or his shin,
but-
right? Your shin's
Well, they
down.
called it back. They didn't call it a touchdown.
No, they called that one a touchdown. They called OBJ's a touchdown for sure. Because
Okay.
there was a guy in fantasy football that OBJ got the touchdown.
I know what play you're talking about, and I
Yeah,
think
it
it was
wasn't
the
that
run
one.
game. It wasn't.
It was Nick
wasn't to a
Chubb's. It was
receiver.
Nick
Yeah.
Chubb's 25-yard run that he ended up falling a little short on.
Okay.
So the game ended 35-30 Browns, and we broke down the game a little bit. we look at the Browns and what they did, Baker finally coming alive. You see all the talent around him in Hunt, Chubb, OBJ. But then we look at the other side about what Joe Burrow did, and you said you were impressed with him.
Yeah, I was.
Do you think the final came out because of the talent that was surrounding Baker, or do you think it came out because of how bad the Bengals played?
Well, Joe Burrow, it would not have been a game that it was without Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow kept them in this thing. There was at one point he threw a pass in the back corner of the end zone to A.J. Green. Perfect pass, kind of like one of the ones you're talking about. Back shoulder fade, right in his hands. A.J. Green dropped it. That would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, he made some incredible throws. I was impressed with Joe Burrow. And, man, you want to talk about somebody being hit. He was getting creamed.
He was.
I was surprised he didn't, get injured. But, he was getting hit back there. Hey, Garrett's here. Hey, Garrett's in the crowd. What's up, Garrett? Austin Anderson. It was
What's up, Sheik?
It was a normal game for them with only 6,000 fans.
Yes.
And did you see
correct.
there was a fight in the stands as well?
Yes.
Like, of course,
I mean,
with
it
only
can be,
6,000
yeah,
fans, of course the Browns and the Bengals are going to get in a fight.
And being here in Houston, they're looking to have 15,000 fans at Energy Stadium. Just saying. Just had to add that little nugget.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stoked.
I was happy to see fans.
Yeah,
I
the
was
games
so
with the
happy to see
fans,
there.
they're way more entertaining. Like they are. Like I
No
love the
doubt.
fans being out there.
Well, the one thing I'll say after watching that game and watching what Cleveland did to Cincinnati, Houston, Texas fans should be concerned. Baltimore's going to come in here and potentially
We're
destroy
gonna get
them.
I know. We know.
They made Cleveland look pedestrian when they played them week
there's
one.
a couple
and
of-
Cleveland looked
And that was what,
decent last night.
38-6?
Yes.
Last week? Right.
Yes.
Right.
We're going to go into it, but Houston, Texas
So-
fans should be worried.
So is the run game the only way the Browns found a way? Without
I don't think it's
that,
the only
do you think
way.
it
I
was-
think that was just part of the game plan. I think Stefanski knew with what they did not have in the defensive line. I think they just took advantage of that. But yes, I do think at a certain point, Baker Mayfield has to show that he can take the burden of a game. And at this point, he hasn't shown that.
I agree. I mean, they won, but was it Baker Mayfield or was it Hunt?
Oh, it was the running game.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it wasn't
Was it
Hunter
his talent
Chubb.
around him?
Yeah,
Right.
100%. I mean, at the beginning of the game, they used a lot of play action. They moved Baker out of the pocket. That one deep throw he did to Odell, it was play action.
Yep.
They did a play action left, he rolled right, or they did it right,
He doesn't
rolled
have
left.
an identity.
No.
He does not have an identity for his team, and that's they're going to struggle with that all season.
But you know
long.
what? Last night was a step in the right direction.
Yeah, dude,
It was.
that was an entertaining football game. I'm
It
glad there was
was.
fans.
It
It was
was.
very entertaining. That game was on point, man. I was excited to watch it.
Well, and I'll say this. I know even Troy Aikman had mentioned it in the game. The great Troy Aikman had mentioned it. Had mentioned it while he was doing the game.
Even Johnny's over there shaking his head.
But Baker looked into the game. Like, I will give him that. Like, I know some guys kind of got in a scuffle at one point. He ran over and broke him up, and
He
he,
was
had
definitely-
energy.
yeah.
He looked like he was into the game. And so it looks like he's trying to do that, be a leader role a little bit, because he was on the sideline clapping, and he was engaged and all that. So, I mean, it's like you said, it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And
Although he's a Sooner, so I can't.
I know.
I can't.
I know.
I wish failure on him, but it's
Wow.
Hey,
I mean,
you're a
look,
Sooner.
at halftime, Joe Buck got the announcement that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's an inductee in the Hall of Fame, which a lot of people hate on Joe Buck, especially Astros fans.
well, yeah.
But
He hates us.
Joe Buck, he's made some great calls. He's been in some great games. He's done a lot of good things. Now, is he there because of his father? Maybe so. But I like Joe Buck, like I do.
Right. And after last night's game, OBJ being traded, rumors to the 49ers, don't think that's going to happen.
No,
He's
I
going
don't
to stay
either.
put right where he is. But I think that takes us right to your injuries for the upcoming Sunday.
well, Jeff was about to say something, and I'm on pins and needles waiting.
It was about Troy Aikman, because
Oh my God!
Troy Aikman. Joe Buck has to lead Troy Aikman in. If it was just the Troy Aikman show, we would change the damn channel. He is not an entertaining human being.
He doesn't have to be. He's a commentator.
Now, look, on the Cowboys tip, Tony Romo, I will listen to Tony Romo. Tony Romo doing a game is hysterical. And I love Romo, at the game-wise, not
Right.
quarterback-wise. I hate the Cowboys. But, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, they almost sound identical. But just Aikman's a little bit more boring.
I don't think Aikman's boring. I mean, I know I'm an Aikman fan, but I make the joke that if you want to go into sports journalism, go play for the Cowboys. It's like a sports journalism school.
Except for Moose Johnson. Yeah,
And
that
except
worked.
for Jason Witten. That didn't
I
work
mean,
for him.
Romo's great.
Yeah,
Tony
Witten.
Romo
Oh
is
my
great.
God, Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like a comedy reel, man.
Let's not
that
even
poor
go
guy.
there.
Woo. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the injuries.
we got an
'cause
injury report.
We got a couple big ones coming up on Sunday. That's for sure.
Yeah, injuries.
For
it's-
fantasy football players, this is
Correct.
huge. There's a bunch of them.
Ah, one of my
So
guys is out.
you got a lot of some quick hits here. So notable Thursdays did not practice that are questionable. AJ Brown for Tennessee wide receiver.
out.
He's questionable. Well, Sports History lists him as questionable with a knee, but those updates. So Kenny Galladay for Detroit, questionable with a hamstring. Alshon Jeffrey, Philadelphia, questionable with a foot. Tight end Jack Dole for the Colts, questionable with an ankle. So those are just little bitty, little quick hits. Your big ones, Le'Veon Bell, New York Jets, hamstring. He is on the IR. His earliest return will be week 5.
Well, this is a quick thing, and for those of y'all that don't know about the IR was generally for half the season, which is 8 weeks. They changed that this offseason.
Yes.
So IR now is only 3 weeks, which is interesting. I like it better that way.
I do too.
You know, they
Yeah,
can come
they can
back.
get
a little-
back.
Yeah, they can
Right.
get back a little earlier. So
Yeah.
IR is only 3 weeks, which isn't terrible.
Well, the big one for everybody is Kittle, of course.
Yes.
Everyone's going to have him on their
Thomas
team.
Kim says Aikman knows his stuff. Well, of course
I
he
know.
knows his stuff. That doesn't mean his delivery is on point. Like, he's boring.
Jeff, do you want to step in the spot?
No. I would do a game with Joe Buck.
This is the true thing. Jeff is a little jealous. He wants
I'm
to
not
be in
jealous
the
at all, but I would
spot.
do a game with Joe Buck. That would be great, you know?
All right, guys. Well, we got to.
Oh, so we're done?
Yeah.
That's it?
No, there's more injuries.
Oh, okay. All right, no. Lauren's done. She didn't want to hear it.
I thought
She
you were
took
done
over.
with the injuries. I thought you were done with your report. You kind of stopped.
I mean, I got more if you
All
want me to
right,
go into
let's
more.
hear 'em.
Philip Lindsay, Denver, questionable with turf
Also
toe.
on my team.
Correct. Michael Thomas, wide receiver, New Orleans, high ankle sprain, doubtful.
He's out.
Jameson Crowder, New York Jets. He is hamstring. He's on the IR, out for week 2. So those are your
Husmanzada,
guys.
TJ Husmanzada, last night of the game, if you didn't watch the video, popped his Achilles. Oh, that was terrible. So he's out for sure.
Chris Godwin, wide receiver, Tampa Bay, questionable, and he's for concussion protocol. Is why they.
He's
have
not
him
coming
for
back.
that.
He's got a few weeks.
Debo Samuel, San Francisco, questionable, and then like you said, George Kittle is out with a
Yep.
knee sprain for San Francisco. So, and that's big news.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 2 of their receivers.
And
You
we're
got
going to get
Kittle
into the
and-
lines later, and that will affect, I think, my pick on that San Francisco game because George Kittle is a huge part of that offense.
He is, but the team they're playing though is not that great.
We're going to find out.
We'll get
Yes.
into that. Am I good to go, Grant? Can I go?
You have my permission.
All
Proceed.
right. Okay. Well, we got to pause
We need
to
shots.
say thank you to a couple of people that make this show possible. Of course, we got to thank Hybrid Technologies Group with Roy Stanton. When it comes
Boy.
to reliability, they are the ones.
We want to thank Construction Concepts, Mark and Jeff. Give them a call at 713-589-2682 or check them out on buildithouston.com.
I love it.
Love it.
Listen,
Love
Lauren
it.
didn't interrupt you.
I didn't.
didn't.
I was like
Thank
so
you.
close.
She actually
Thank you.
went
You
to
wanted
the
to.
mic.
I could tell.
Did you see me
wanted
like
to do
lean
it.
over and
She
I was
got
like,
excited.
no.
I went by
no.
today. I went by Construction's Concepts office today to go pick up some hats for us because Mark laid out the hats, put them in a box in front of the office. But
Are we gonna have hats?
We
Like,
are.
what's
We
up?
are. Construction Concept gave us all kinds of stuff to,
Legit.
and they're awesome. But the guy put them inside the office before I was able to get there, so
You didn't
we
get
didn't
them.
get any hats.
Missed that. Hey, David Williams, thank you so much. A consistently great show, guys. Keep it up. Thank you so much. We appreciate all
Appreciate
of
it,
you.
Dave.
Yeah.
Can I call you
Hamilton,
Dave?
tough
We don't know
enough.
each other, but can I call him Dave?
Greg
Sure, why
Hollis
not?
watching.
Why not?
Again, we're sitting over here at Kirby location Christian's Tailgate, and believe it or not, today's National Cheeseburger Day.
Oh, come
Did
get your
not know that.
cheeseburger.
All right.
And this place has
Best
been
burgers?
voted best burgers in Houston.
Yeah,
Got to get one after.
for sure. Okay, guys, shall we get into
Come talk to
Sunday's
Dustin.
games?
Dustin's the GM
Yes.
here. He's awesome. Dustin, we need some shots too. We got to get it loud. So,
Well, we got some people here. They're doing okay as far as being loud.
I know.
They're doing all
What's up,
right.
guys?
They're doing all right.
Making some
Yeah.
noise. Love it, love it. Astros game just started.
let's
of
get
the
into
first.
some football games. Y'all want to talk about them?
All right.
Let's go.
That's why I'm
Let's
here.
do it. Let's
I'm
do
in.
it. All right, so we got Giants versus Bears. That's the first game on Sunday. Falcons versus Cowboys.
Well, let's get into the
this
games that we
game.
can discuss a little bit, and then we're going to go, because I'll pick those games, at least my picks and your picks and Grant's. I want to get to either the Cowboys game, Texas game, Tampa game, or Seattle game.
Well, let's do Cowboys first then. If
All
you want to do
right.
that, all right. Let's do it.
Fine, I'm down with you.
All right, so Atlanta is coming to Dallas.
Arlington.
Okay, my bad.
Get it right.
Dude, listen.
It's
Here we
Arlington.
go. Here we go.
Golly,
Get it
Jerry
right.
World, Jerry
Yeah,
World.
Get it right.
Atlanta and Dallas, or in Dallas. Now, I don't know if is Dallas going to have fans there or not. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
they will. Yeah,
They
Jerry,
are.
Jerry Jones is going to figure out a way to get people in that
Okay, Dallas
building.
have fans there.
So you're going to do something with them.
So you got Dallas minus 4.5 against the Falcons. 53.5 is the over/under.
Man, you think that I'm crazy, man, but listen, I told you before the season started, before all this crazy stuff started, that Dallas will start 0-3, and there will be some massive problems there. I'm taking Atlanta to beat Dallas in Dallas.
Well, I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking Cowboys to win, but I am taking the Falcons plus the 4.5.
Field goal, yeah.
So it is concerning what I saw last week with Dallas, and then you got this week. You've got Blake Jarwin that's not playing.
Yep.
LVE Vander Esch is not playing. You got Sean Lee out. I just
Shocker.
read.
Yeah,
I just
wow.
read
When's the
When's the
today.
last time he played? He's like
I don't
J.J.
even know.
Watt.
Yeah, I
Why
know.
is he still on the roster?
I don't know.
He never
I
plays.
honestly don't know why he came
Hey,
back. I had no idea.
On my way here, I was reading an article that Dallas is looking into Clay Matthews. That is impressive. Like, Clay Matthews is still a beast. And if he wants to play and he goes to Dallas, that could be a defensive game changer for them.
Well, and that would put him with his old coach, McCarthy,
McCarthy.
at Green Bay.
Right.
I just read today Tyron Smith had some issues in practice today, didn't practice, that he may be questionable. So not only are they going to be without their starting right tackle and their backup right tackle, potentially their starting left tackle. That's a problem.
Ouch.
It's concerning about what I see with Dallas right now.
Well, I think a lot of people feel that same way because of last week and how they performed, because I think everybody was just like such high hopes on Dallas this year.
But I do
and
think-
you can't judge just week one, of course.
No,
but
you can't. But I do think the Rams are probably better than people think they're going to be. I'm not saying that they're going to win that division, but I do think the Rams. I mean, they're playing Philadelphia this week. That'll be interesting to see, and we're going to talk about that. That's one of our games to talk about. But
Is it?
I am concerned. Well, as far as going over
It is now.
going over the wins and losses, we're going to go over the
Yeah.
games, wins and
Yeah.
losses, right?
We got
okay.
it. We
Well,
got
then,
it.
there you go. I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is concerning what's going on with Dallas. I don't say it with a lot of confidence that they'll win the game, because what Atlanta did to Seattle, man, those offense stats.
Well,
they
that was
destroyed
second half. We
Seattle.
talked about that. That was second half. They were playing from behind. Matt Ryan went off on the second half of that game. Like, he really did. Like, he went, I mean, I think he had 430, 440 yards passing, whatever, 3 touchdowns second half. I just think that Dallas is in a state of turmoil with all those
It's
personalities.
too early to be turmoil.
I know, but I just think it was the offseason thing, not signing Dak.
So Matt Ryan last week versus the Seahawks in Seattle had 450 yards.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think he's really stepped up this year.
we'll see.
Well, and who knows? The thing that helped Seattle last week, which Dallas doesn't have, Seattle had Russell Wilson, and Dallas doesn't. They have Russell Wilson light.
No, he wants to
You
get
know,
Russell Wilson money,
They
right?
have, if he would get Russell Wilson money, I'd be stoked, because I'd be like $32 million. He's wanting 40. So
34 can't feed his family.
I would, I would take. I mean, so Seattle. I mean, when you look at the numbers as far as last week, Atlanta and Seattle, Atlanta killed them in everything: passing yards, total yards, time of possession, all of it. But Seattle has Russell Wilson, and Dallas
Right.
doesn't have that, which is concerning.
And I'm super excited to get into that Seahawks game.
But I will go Cowboys
going-
winning.
Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna write this
I
down.
wrote it down, so you can write it down all you want.
You got Cowboys
Cowboys
winning.
to win, but I have Falcons plus 4.5.
Yeah, 5. So We're going to play the line, so you're
Okay.
taking Falcons.
I'm going to, I'm
Falcons.
taking Falcons plus 4.5.
All right, that's fine. Lauren?
And I'll let you know, I was iffy on it too. You can see I crossed out, right?
Well, it's awkward
Because
that they
I was
put it.
thinking that Atlanta could win this game. Absolutely.
So you've got Falcons plus the 4. Generally speaking, gambling terms, you get it's minus 3 points for being at home, and Dallas is going to have fans, so you're thinking they get the minus 3 points. So they're expecting this game to be a 1-point game. I mean, a really close game.
Yes. And I am too. Based off what I saw Cowboys last week and Atlanta last week, what they did to Seattle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I'm taking Cowboys. It's their first time at home, something to prove. Mike McCarthy, new guy, of course. I'm taking Cowboys on
The
this one.
injuries bother me. That's what the injuries are worrisome.
Johnny.
Johnny.
What?
Jeff, Falcons, Cowboys.
Falcons. I told you, the Cowboys are starting 0-3. So are the Texans.
See, what's great about Jeff is Jeff doesn't have a team, so he can just talk shit about everybody's team.
He can.
But you can't say that to him because he doesn't have one.
No, I have a team. I love the Texans. I'm from Houston. I love the Texans. But listen, I hate the organization. I don't like the upper management of the Houston Texans. They are destroying it. Like, they're allowing fans. There's already a petition, even though they're going to allow fans not to go. Like, Bill O'Brien is, look, let's get into the
We
Texans
all
game.
know how the
Let's do the
city feels
Texans
about
game.
Bill O'Brien.
Let's do
okay?
Texans.
Let's do the Texans game right now.
All
Like,
right, we're going to it. We're going to it. Ravens are coming to town, like you said. Oh, it's so scary, Baltimore. Lamar is coming. So last year, the Ravens took on the Texans 41-7. It was a blowout, just like the Browns game last week, how they just killed them 38-6. So last year, Jackson threw for 222 yards, 4 touchdowns, and rushed for 79 yards against the Texans.
is something different on our defense that I don't know?
So as we said, Jackson
No,
is also more accurate and pinpoint with,
Yeah.
with his throws this
What's
year
different?
too.
Yeah.
What's
nothing.
different?
Nothing.
Zero. In fact, I think our defense might be worse this year than it was last year.
His throwing last week, Lamar Jackson, was 80% completion percentage. 80%. I mean, like I said, it's going to be – I wouldn't be shocked if it's that score.
41-7?
They have Baltimore -7. I would take that all day.
That's ridiculous, dude.
They have Baltimore
I'm going
-7.
Baltimore -13. Like, you know, like
I would take that and just go – I mean, Baltimore's to win and Baltimore -7.
All right. Baltimore.
what happens if it is a 41-7 blowout? All right? What happens when all these people in Houston, where we are right now, like, what happens when this fan base finally starts saying, you know what, I'm sick of this? Like, there's a 41-7 loss, do it. What if he starts 0-3 again? Like, is Bill O'Brien safe?
I don't see how he can be.
The thing is, whenever they lost against the Chiefs, they promoted him. So you never know what the organization is going to do, and that's why you don't like them so much, and I can agree with you.
Well, Cal McNair he doesn't want a trophy. He doesn't want a championship. He wants money. And as long as the Houston Texans are top 7 in revenue, he could care less. He could care less about, you know, if they win a championship, whatever. It's money. It's money, money, money. So as long as they're making money, it's fine. We need an owner that wants to chase a championship. And as a Houstonian and a Texans fan, it's frustrating. I'll get into that with the Rockets later with Harden. That's equally frustrating.
Well, you got to think of this too. I think they're running out of cities to move the team to, so they can't really
Don't
go
bring in
anywhere
the-
else.
don't
They have
bring
to
the
stay
Oilers into
here.
this.
So
Hey, I love me some Oilers,
I'm
man.
sorry, I had to. But no, I can understand Jeff's frustration, and as somebody that is just a neutral fan, just living here in Houston, that doesn't root for the team. Yes, I mean I can see why people are just like, where are we going? What are we doing? You don't have draft picks. You don't have, besides Deshaun Watson, and I feel really bad for Deshaun Watson. That dude is now paid, but he has nobody to play with. Like, what does he have to look
It was
forward
frustrating to
to?
see last week when Hopkins goes off for 157 yards, 10 receptions, and then you have Watson running around trying to find somebody to throw to.
I know.
And it's frustrating to watch that, and everybody's going to blame Hopkins. Now, is there more talent surrounding?
But that's
I
the
don't
thing.
think
I don't
anybody's
think
gonna blame
anybody
Watson.
Johnny, what happened to the Giants?
blames.
Yeah, they lost. I don't think anybody's going to blame Watson. I think anybody can
I don't
see the
think
product on
anyone's-
the field and know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's blaming DeAndre. It's just like keeping the guys healthy,
No,
like
you
Will
blame
Fuller.
Bill O'Brien for
Well,
trading Hopkins, getting rid of the draft picks, for doing all these dumb things that led us to where we are. Andre Johnson, one of the best wide receivers that ever played the game, never got credit because he couldn't go deep in the playoffs because we put a crap team around him. Crap defense, crap quarterback, crap everything. Yet he put up these astounding numbers. If Andre Johnson was with Deshaun Watson, it would be incredible. You know, you'd have this, this amazing thing. But we had Arian Fox. People come to Texas and Texas or Houston with the Texans, and their careers just seem to get drowned. Like, it's just like, yeah, they've got a bunch of great seasons, put up some incredible numbers, but do we go anywhere? No, we play the Bengals every year in the playoffs.
Five
Thank God
division
you had the
titles,
Bengals.
and that's as
Now,
far as we go.
I will say in the Texans' defense, because we're beating on them pretty bad here, they've also are going to be playing the two best teams in the NFL the first 2 weeks of the season.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's part of it, too. Kansas City, of course, we know what Kansas City is, and Baltimore. Now, they haven't played the game yet, so we don't know what the turnout's going to be, but we can imagine. But that's a pretty hefty beginning of your schedule playing Kansas City and Baltimore.
I agree,
For
but if
sure.
you want to make a statement, you win one of those.
But do you really
And-
think
and-
that they would?
In Arrowhead, too.
I mean, I don't think hardly anybody's going to beat
fans,
those
I
two
mean,
teams. I don't think anybody's. They could go the whole season 1 or 2 losses. So there's not a lot of people that are going to beat those two teams.
I'm glad a Cowboys fan is sticking up for the Texans. This is interesting. Wow.
It's
Hey,
great. It's
I feel
great.
bad for
You need to
them.
make a little commercial out
I
of
feel
this,
sorry
Lauren.
for them.
All right. I'm on it. I'm on my
Yeah, you're the
editing
commercial
skills after
person.
this. All right.
You do
All right. Shall we
commercials.
move to the next game?
What's
Let's
the
go.
next one? Let's go.
I got Chiefs versus Chargers. You want to get into that?
I like that.
Sure. What's the spread?
You got the Chiefs minus 8.5.
Chiefs, next game.
I mean, that's an easy one, too. Chiefs to win and Chiefs minus 8.5. Because after what I saw with San Diego and what they did against the Bengals, who we just saw last night struggle so bad, yes, I would say that's a no-brainer. Chiefs minus 8.5.
Now, the really fun one that we've been excited to talk about is the Patriots versus the Seahawks. Prime time, Sunday night, 7:20, baby. So we got, Cam Newton going up against Russell Wilson.
Just a
What's
nice
gonna
little tidbit,
happen?
just so you know. This will be the oldest head coach duel in NFL history. You got Pete Carroll, who's 69, and Belichick, who's 68.
How do you know? Like, I know you work all day. How do you come up with all this stuff? Like, who knows that stat?
You got
Like,
Pete Carroll, 69,
There
Belichick,
you go.
68.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is. Playing
Johnny knows. Johnny knows. Johnny,
Nice.
see, when you start talking about Giants, I'm out on you. But then you do stuff like that and you redeem yourself.
What's,
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
what's the
There you
line on
go.
this game?
Which one? What are we talking about?
Seahawks.
Pats and
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
You got the
oldest
Seahawks. You got
coaches.
Pats. Well, I'm looking at Pats to win, and you have Pats plus 4.
Ooh,
Where are we playing?
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah.
Listen,
But without that crowd, though, you don't have that Seattle crowd in there.
this would be an incredible statement game for Cam Newton, but I just don't see him beating who I think is going to be the MVP of the league this year in Russell Wilson.
He deserves it.
Man, listen
He
to that.
deserves it every
He
year.
deserves
That was a
it.
good take. No, he does.
He deserves it
Did
every
y'all
year.
see what I posted? If y'all haven't, go follow Sports with Balls on Facebook. I post things every single day about stuff that you wouldn't even realize that Russell Wilson has never even received an MVP vote.
I know. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Well, my response to that was he's probably the most underrated QB in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, Bill Belichick even said that. It's like, I mean, you're playing one of, that team is solid. Chris Carson is a beast behind him. Russell Wilson is on. I mean, he's on point with all his receivers. He's got everybody. I mean, I'm gonna take. What is it? 4?
4, yeah. So you got, you have Seattle at home minus 4.
I'm taking Seattle all day.
So I want to talk about pocket presence here because Cam Newton and Russell Wilson both do it. Do you think Cam would escape the pocket more than Russ would?
Well, I don't think there's any way you can keep Cam from doing that. I think he's going to do that. I know you were kind of saying, hey, last week he ran 15 times. That's not going to be – I mean, you got to think about it. If over a year, he'd probably be tops as far as rushing attempts go, even compared to running backs if he continue that, which I don't think he will.
You've got.
I don't think Bill will allow him to.
No.
They
I think
have
that was just a
design
game
runs,
plan.
But they have design runs.
just a game plan
for
against Miami.
Cam. They don't have design runs for Russell Wilson.
I will say this. I'm done doubting Bill Belichick. I'm done. It seems like every season I make excuses or reasons as to why New England won't be very good. I'm done doing that.
Vicky Sims said, "You are so right, Jeff." Thank you, Ms. Leo. That's what I'm talking about. See, one of the Leos agrees with
Right
me.
on what?
I don't know. But
'Cause you
she
said
just
a
said I
lot.
was right.
I don't know. She just said you are so right, Jeff.
Solid, whatever. I appreciate it.
But yeah, I'd go
fine.
Patriots with the win, and Patriots, of course, that would mean they take the 4 points. I'd take that.
Yeah, I definitely would. Before we get into the Saints Raiders game, let's go down the other games and the lines, and let's make our picks.
All right. So the first game that I was mentioning earlier is Giants versus Bears at 12.
What's the line on that?
Bears minus 5.5.
Bears minus 5.5. Giants plus 5.5 all day.
Ooh. Johnny likes that.
I do. I like I think Trubisky made an incredible comeback, one of the best ones you've seen against Detroit. But Detroit should have won that game, except for their running back dropped the ball in the end zone. So I definitely would have taken. I did take Detroit, what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, we got fans taking pictures.
We do.
I would go. I'm going Bears to win and Bears minus 5.5.
Okay, I'm taking Giants.
I mean, after seeing Trubisky last year, I'm definitely going anything against him. I know he came out great last
one's on
week,
the
but I'm going with Giants. Johnny, you got to be happy.
Do it.
Next, we have the Falcons versus Cowboys, what we talked about earlier, and I think we all decided your Falcons, us two
Yeah,
are
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Right?
Well, I'm Cowboys to win and Falcons plus the 4.5.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Which
right.
is interesting. So I like that.
Yeah, so we got Lions versus Packers. That's next.
What's
I'm
the
going
line?
Packers, man.
You
what
don't
is
even
it?
know the line, and you just.
I'm just saying.
I know.
who I
Well,
think
you're
is
just
going
going
to
straight
win.
up. You're just going
Yeah,
straight
just
up is
straight
what you're
up.
going.
Because Aaron Rodgers has a mustache. Like, whatever.
Oh my gosh!
That is fantastic. It's the greatest thing you've ever said. That is
There's
awesome.
something behind that, guys.
Yeah, that's an inside joke.
There's a-
All right, so we're gonna go. So on
And
the
I don't
Packers,
like Aaron Rodgers for your information.
I'm taking Packers to win and Packers minus
What's the
6.5.
spread?
Packers minus
Oh,
6.5.
okay. Bye, touchdown.
I'm gonna go Lions plus the 6.5. I like the way they should have won last week, and I like the way Stafford's throwing.
All right, he's going for Stafford. All right, this is a game that I wanted to get into, but y'all didn't. Jags versus Titans is next.
I just want to know why
Division?
you wanted to get into
Because
this.
you want to talk
game.
about Derrick Henry.
He
That's
doesn't.
why.
Does he have a mustache?
Because it's going against AFC. I mean, it's a division game.
Jacksonville.
AFC
And you got
South.
Minshew on the
Yeah.
other. Yeah. That's the other one too.
That is exactly
Got a
right.
Minshew fan. Yeah.
Golly.
Hey,
Can
Minshew's
somebody-
1-0.
Listen,
Minshew's
can
1-0.
somebody send her a Minshew jersey? Like, if you're watching, send her a Minshew
Yes.
jersey.
That'd be fantastic.
The address is on our webpage at Facebook at Sports with Balls. So yeah, we need a Minshew jersey.
So on this one, you've got Titans minus 7.5 at home.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm taking Titans to win it, but Jags plus the 7.5.
The Jags played great last week.
They did.
They did.
I'm going to take the Jags plus the 7.5 all
And
day.
to win?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to take them with the 7.5. That's a pretty good bet. That would, I mean, of all the bets that we've done so far, I don't know, other than the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans is a gimme.
I'm going to take Baltimore minus the 7 and the Jags with a parlay with the Jags plus the 7.5.
Yeah,
So
I like
la-
that Jags plus 7.5.
So last week we said, of course, Minshew delivered and did great, but can he keep it up again this week? I'm going Titans. I'm going with my Henry. I'm going to see him perform and Mike Vrabel and see what they do.
Gardner's going to be pissed.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't hear this. He's
Yeah.
going to be upset with you.
Sorry, bro.
But the only thing about the spread when it comes to this is Titans don't win. If they ever win, they don't win by large margins. I mean, it's not like they blow people away.
No.
They're all close games. So
No, and it's going to depend on
And they-
Tannehill. And if, look, Tannehill, he could come out and throw 4 touchdowns. He can also come out and throw 4 picks.
correct.
You know, he's not consistent at all. You don't know
But
what
who they
you're
also
getting.
have is former Texan, former Seahawk, Jadeveon Clowney as well. Put
I mean-
up some stops. Just saying.
He made some impacts in the
Tune
game
in
last
on
week.
Monday.
Yeah, he made some impacts last week. Clowney
Whatever.
did.
Just because you beat me at fantasy football, you think you know
Ha!
shit.
That is right. So week 1
Well, you
of
brought
the
that
NFL.
up.
Yeah,
You
you
brought
brought it
that
up, bro. So
Look, she
I
shoulda
beat
lost.
Jeff's team in fantasy.
I told you-
Week 1, baby.
Exactly.
Out of here,
Exactly.
Sensei. All right, we're moving to the next game. We got Vikings versus Colts. What's the spread, Grant?
Vikings and Colts. So you have Colts minus 3 in Indianapolis.
Colts minus 3, Indianapolis Vikings. Whoa. I mean,
That's a tough one.
they have listen. Colts have the number 1 offensive line in the NFL. Okay, but they did just lose Marlon Mack for the year. But Naheem Hines played incredible last week, and they have Jonathan Taylor, right? So I think they try the running game, and I'm going to go with Colts.
I'm going Colts too. Although they lost last week by just a touchdown though.
I'm going Vikings to win it and Vikings plus the points, +3.
I like it.
In Indianapolis?
Correct.
I like it.
Well, because you got to think about who Minnesota played last week. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with Green Bay.
Well, I mean, last week you were also 6-4-5, and I was 6. Well, you were 6-4. I was 6-3. Is that right?
That's based on things that we don't even know.
Yeah.
We guessed on who said what last week.
No, I mean, okay.
That wasn't concrete. This is concrete. That's why I wanted to write this down.
All right, we're gonna see who has the better winning
You're
percentage.
damn right.
baby.
Let's go.
All right, so we got the Bills versus the Dolphins in Miami.
Bills Dolphins
Yep.
in Miami. Whoa,
What's the spread?
Grant, you go.
No problem. Bills -5.5. I'm going to take Bills to win, and Bills with the 5.5. -5.5, I mean.
I'm going.
So you
Dolphins.
got Bills -5.5.
I'm going. Magic Fitzpatrick comes back.
Oh, okay.
If not, he loses his job to Tua. Tua starting game 3.
Okay, that's great. So do you think that happens? You think if Miami loses this game, Tua starting week 3?
100%.
You think that's the right play?
Sure, why not? In a season where you don't have fans and it's not as much pressure, and Dolphins aren't going to the Super Bowl, as long as they have a decent offensive line, start Tua.
But if you're not going to the Super Bowl, if that's the understanding, why not let it go a little bit longer? Why not let Fitz keep playing?
Well, you don't want to get
week
killed.
4,
like
week
the-
5, let it keep going a little bit, let him watch, and then put him in.
I see both sides here because I can see that for sure, but at the same time, you drafted him for a reason, and you want to see what he can do with what's around him now. So it's like, let him go. Let him play.
But if you can admit,
Yeah.
though, that the team around him is not that great, why put him out there to potentially get himself hurt
See what he can do.
and also get himself hurt? That's what I would be concerned about.
Grant, just stick to Cowboys.
I'm going
Everything I'm
Bills.
saying is
I'm
brilliant.
going Bills on this matchup, guys. I got to stick with my Ed Oliver.
We should
up
do
there.
I think Bills are one of the best teams in
97.5. Just do the damn show.
Well, I'm out of here.
Well, fine, get out.
Yeah. I think the Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL.
Next one, I'm excited.
which is
to see.
weird to say.
Ouch.
That is weird. Next game, I'm excited to see what the spread is 49ers versus the Jets. How
49ers
much?
and Jets. So you got
How much?
49ers. It's going to be played in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. You got San Francisco -7.
Oh, easy, San Francisco.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
care if they're missing Kittle. The Jets are a disaster. They're probably the worst team in the NFL. They just lost Le'Veon Bell. They're
Still
just
going up the great
they're
defense of the
just
49ers as
They're
well.
just a mess. So,
Yeah.
San Francisco. Mostert's incredible. He'll probably have 200 yards rushing. I hope. Fantasy.
The question is, do you think a drive across the country does anything? Like,
No.
do you think driving
Oh,
from West Coast to
West.
East Coast, do you think that can affect the way they
Pretty
play
sure
the
they
game
didn't
at all?
drive, but
I know that, but I mean, that's a long flight. I don't care if you're flying or not. That's a long flight.
I was thinking that, but I mean,
It's a long
come on.
flight. I mean, I bet if you looked, I don't know what they are, but I bet if you looked at the games as far as what the odds were in comparison to teams from the West Coast who went to the East Coast, it's not as their success is not as big
Are you
as you
talking
think they
about
would
the
be.
atmosphere itself? Because it
I'm
being
just talking about the
cooler
flight. I'm talking about the flight, the trip, the going to hotel room, like everything. I think
Man,
it just
we're
plays
getting a little
factor.
bit too much into the
49ers
New
and
York
Jets.
Jets
What do you
game.
think? When you think these guys laid these spreads down,
I
what do you
think
think?
that we're just supposed to make a pick and go to the next
San
game.
Francisco to win,
I'm trying to
San
start an
Francisco
argument like we're on
-7.
97.5. Do the damn show.
All right.
We keep going. We'll get there.
All right,
We keep
guys.
going. We'll get there eventually.
Okay,
You're damn right.
so next game we got Rams versus Eagles, and Miles Sanders will be back from his hamstring injury. So it looks like he'll be
What's the line?
healthy to play against the Rams.
Rams, that's right there. Where'd it go? There you go. Rams, Eagles. It's going to be in Philly. You got Philly -1.
I'm taking Rams all day.
Interesting. I like that. I
I'm
took
going with
Rams to win
Of
and
course
Rams
you
+1.
Of course.
Yes.
Next
I think
we got-
Dallas played bad, but LA's good too, though. So.
Next we have Broncos versus Steelers, and we already talked about Phillip Lindsay, and we talked about Cortland Sutton, both on my team. Who are we taking for this one, and what's the spread?
So it's in Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's hard to say exactly how good Pittsburgh is because that Giants team they played last week, I mean, that's not a good barometer because the Giants are terrible. So I would say you got Steelers -7.5 is what you got.
Hey, listen to this. Thomas Kim just said 97.5 sucks balls. You guys are better. That's an incredible play on words, and I appreciate that.
There's to you. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you.
Bam!
All All right, who you got for this one? Who you got?
You got Pittsburgh minus 7.5 at home.
Broncos.
Broncos plus 7. I think, yes. I like the 7 points. It's hard to go against. Roethlisberger grabbed his knee a couple of times last week. Don't know how that's going. And Snell is now the running back, and it's James Conner's hurt. So I'm going to take Broncos.
I'll take Steelers to win, but Broncos plus the 7.5.
Okay. All right, we got Panthers versus Bucks next. And unfortunately, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans will be out with the Bucks. So that says a little bit right there. What's the spread on this game, Grant?
I was shocked when I saw that spread, to be honest with you. Tampa Bay at home, minus 8.5.
Really?
You have got to be kidding me.
Tampa
Really?
Bay minus 8.5 at home.
Carolina
Yes.
plus 8.5.
Carolina plus
all
8.5.
day long. I told y'all, just like the Dallas Cowboy thing, I said that there's too many personalities. There's going to be a little bit of, confrontation, and there was directly after that game. I don't think that team is as good as people think. Rob Gronkowski, did he have a catch?
Did he even
He wasn't
play?
spotted.
Dude,
He wasn't
Was he even on
spotted.
the
Let's be
field?
real. And I'm with you. I mean, we've said Tom Brady is just average. He's not who he was
Dude, he's
anymore.
declined
Like,
every
he's just
the last
boom,
5
boom,
years,
boom,
and now
boom.
he's in a new system, new coach,
He
new
doesn't have
players.
Bill Belichick to make him good.
No, and you're going to take Godwin and
Well, I
Evans
just
out?
think also is his age and everything. Like,
Well, yeah, he's 43
You
years
know?
old, but he doesn't have Belichick. Belichick made him good. So, yes, I mean, he doesn't have that factor
I'm
anymore.
taking Panthers 8.5.
Oh, I'm all over Panthers 8.5.
That's the trifecta.
I got a question here for you, Dallas fan.
Okay.
If Dak was with Bill, would he perform like Brady?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes.
100%.
All right.
Little 13-yarders over the middle to Edelman all day long.
Dink and dunk to a Super Bowl. Absolutely.
For
That's
sure.
what they would do.
Yep.
All right, so Washington football team versus the Arizona Cardinals.
The Washington.
Washington football team.
I still gotta
I
get used
know.
to that.
I don't care what the
Getting
spread.
used
Let's just say
I don't
Washington.
care what the spread is. I'm going Arizona.
Same.
You got Arizona minus 6.5 at home.
And it's in Arizona. Exactly. So earlier we said Chiefs Chargers. Both of y'all took the Chiefs. I'm looking that way too, of course.
Now on the
You got
on the
best.
on the Arizona game, Washington, I would take it Cardinals to win, but I'll take Washington plus 6.5. Washington's got a stout defense.
Okay, bud.
Stout defense. I wrote it all down here, so I'll show you all of it next week.
Monday.
damn right.
Monday or, probably Monday night.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. All right, and next we said Ravens versus Texans. I think everyone here
Right,
had
did that.
Baltimore. And then Pats versus Seahawks. Y'all,
Saints Raiders. Monday Night Football.
Monday night.
What we got?
Monday Night Football, Saints Raiders, Saints minus 6. That's a big spread on the road, minus 6. But I'm still taking Saints to win and minus 6.
I'm taking Saints as well.
I'm going to go shocker. I love Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, I think he's phenomenal. I think he can control that game. I'm going to take the Raiders with the points. What? Yeah.
Are you going to take them to win the game?
No. I'm going to take the Raiders. I think the Raiders 6.5. I'll take them. I think that's going to be one of the shockers. There's always going to be a shocker. You know, you can't take the favorites on everyone. Oh, this team's like.
Right.
So I think the Raiders will shock New Orleans. Maybe a wake-up call for them.
All right. So we'll see what happens Sunday and Monday night.
We got 12 minutes. I want to get into a little bit of this NBA.
Let's do it.
First of all, Denver and LA play at 8 o'clock, which is in 12 minutes, right?
Yes. Good math. That's good.
I'm not really sure if this game's even going to be close. Maybe because it's the first game with the Nuggets, and I love Denver. Was there for a while, but you know, LeBron and them, unfortunately, are just in a groove, and I think that they're going to. I think they're going to kill them.
Can I say that the Lakers have not won a game one in the post?
Yeah, I know.
yet.
But you're also talking about the
Trailblazers,
bubble.
Rockets, now Nuggets.
This is that bubble thing that I was worried about that is happening now. You know, like some
no
of these
home court
teams
advantage.
are falling apart. Like they just came out and said that the Rockets were arguing prior to, and there's been some teams that said they were tired. Like there's a bunch of arguing going on. They're trying to have dinners at the restaurants and inside the bubble and all this, and they're all arguing. And it's because they're just, you know, if you're not in a bubble, you get to go home to your family. You get to go home, chill, you get away from the team for a little bit. But you're around each other so much, those personalities are clashing, right? So at the very beginning, before the playoffs started, they said whatever team could keep it together for the longest was the team that would probably win in this situation. Denver has come together. together. Miami's only lost one game the entire bubble, and the Lakers just seem to be on point. So, I mean,
Well, I guarantee you, when they're in the locker room, LeBron's saying, I did not talk Adam Silver into coming back to do the season and not win a championship.
You know what's so ironic about that is when LeBron was asked, when this whole bubble foreseen thing came about, even before the bubble, would you play without fans? He said no. He said no.
yeah, he was all.
And he had to come back and say, oh, I apologize. I'm definitely going to play because I know the fans want to see.
I want
this is
Denver
his
to win.
opportunity.
I want you to know this. I want Denver to win because I cannot stand LeBron James.
I'm with you.
So, like, I
I'm
want Denver to
with
win.
you.
Will they? Probably not.
The only thing I'll say about
They got a
Denver,
shot, though.
the only thing I'll say about Denver is everybody thought the same thing when it came to the Clippers. They were down when it came to I can't remember who they played before that. They've been
Utah.
Utah. They've been the underdog pretty much through this whole thing, and I think having that underdog role and going into it. First off, my thing is who's going to guard Jamal Murray?
That guy's made $50 million at least in this bubble.
Who's going to guard that
His
guy?
next contract is going to be ridiculous.
Maybe LeBron, but I mean, if you put LeBron on Lamar Murray, that's going to leave. I mean, Jokic and Davis are pretty much neck and neck as far as the matchup goes. I mean, the matchup, when basketball, as you know, it's individual matchups. And the individual matchups aren't as over for the Lakers side as you think it would be.
I mean,
All right.
That's how I feel.
that is. I mean, if you go from I would take Denver. I don't know what the spread is. Maybe Denver minus 1.5.
LA
first-
minus 7.
Okay, so the first quarter is probably Denver minus 2. I mean, LA minus 2. I would take Denver plus 2 in the first quarter of the game. I think Denver's probably going to come out hot. Even the first half, they'll probably have a lead. But when it comes down to the end of the game, Rondo's playing incredible. These guys are playing good basketball.
Yeah, they're playing
man.
great.
And they're number one for a reason.
And Troy, I think it's just a tendency to not want LeBron to do well.
Yeah, that's
you know what
it.
I mean? That
Yeah.
you root against him. Because
I
I
agree.
acknowledge the fact that LeBron's playing at the top of his game. And do you think that dude's a little motivated after not winning the MVP? I bet he comes in
Yeah, I
pretty
didn't
motivated.
think about that.
Yeah.
They just announced Antetokounmpo as MVP, and that
And
was
he's-
today.
Yeah, and
now
he's saying,
LeBron.
don't call me. Don't call me that.
Oof. So,
Yeah,
but
Do you know
That's
who
some-
was
that's
fourth in
some
the MVP
drama.
voting? You know who was fourth in the MVP
was
voting?
fourth?
Luka Doncic.
Ah, of course.
Ah,
Dallas
Lee, we
boy.
couldn't go one show.
Just
The
thought I'd
shot.
let you know.
The shot.
We
Just
couldn't
thought I'd
do
let you
one
know.
show
First team
without
All
that.
NBA.
Golly.
Youngest player to be voted first team All NBA and fourth in MVP voting.
All right,
Just
Grant, are you
saying.
gonna,
I just thought I'd let you
Grant,
know.
are you going to take us in a time machine?
Well, real quick, Boston and Miami series, 2-0 Miami. That is one of the most boring series that I've watched in a long time.
And that's great for Miami.
It's great for Miami, and it's
is.
it's almost unwatchable basketball.
They will be unwatchable basketball all the way to the finals.
Nope, there you go.
And Eric Spoelstra, once
quick,
again,
just
underrated.
quick before you get to Grant's Did You Know, there's a rumor out there that Doc Rivers might come to Houston. I don't care if you bring in Doc Rivers. I don't care if you bring in whoever. With James Harden on the Rockets, you're not winning a championship.
There's also a rumor that the Sixers are looking at Daryl Morey for their general manager. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. It's just a rumor.
Let's turn it over.
If I were Daryl Morey, I would jump ship.
Separate.
I would jump ship.
To the
Absolutely.
Sixers?
I'd be gone too.
I would jump ship.
Let's turn it over to Grant Miles for Did You Know? Because we're running up against
It's
Brought to
me.
you by-
It's me. It's me. Yes. So I want to thank Tosin and Texas AV Productions for sponsoring. If you mention Sports with Balls, you receive a free consultation plus 10% off your total bill. Call them at 281-241-7520 and check them out online at txavpro.com. Their 20 years of experience will make any event unforgettable. And they do major stuff. Major
I
stuff.
like
All right,
how it
Grant.
says like unforgettable. Like I told you, the divorce party.
Unforgettable.
Like if I ever get married, I'll throw a party through him. He's also going to throw the divorce party and make
And
that
it will be unforgettable. You're damn
Well, then
right.
why'd you get the marriage in the first place?
Because
Oh
that's-
my God, Lauren! Like
Do we have to do that now? All right. So today is September 18th.
on our next podcast,
Yeah,
relationship
exactly.
advice from Lauren. Leo.
Correct, yes. September 18th, 2020 is today, as you know. September 18th, did you know that in 1990, Atlanta was chosen to host the 1996 Summer Olympics? This day in
Oh.
1990.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then there was a bombing Atlanta, and
Yep.
then they made a movie out of it. Which is, by the way, that movie was terrible. So don't watch it.
Okay. Do we even know the name of the film?
I forgot. It was that bad.
It was so bad.
Yeah,
All right.
The Bomb. September 18th, 1996. Did you know that Roger Clemens tied his own major league record with 20 strikeouts?
Actually, yes.
The great Texas UT
Yep.
Roger Clemens.
Love Clemens.
He's awesome. Very cool
Houstonian.
guy.
Yep. September
Love the
18th,
Clemens family.
1984. Did you know that Tim Raines became the first player with consecutive 70 stolen base seasons? Four consecutive 70 stolen base seasons.
I'll
That's
tell you
crazy.
what, stealing is so different then than now. It was so much of a major factor in the game.
Well, it was a
Now-
game plan, correct?
now
Yes,
it's not.
Absolutely. Did you know that September 18th, 1966, Baltimore quarterback Johnny Unitas throws 4 touchdown passes in a 38-23 win at Minnesota to surpass Y.A. Tittle as NFL's career leader with 212, finished his career with 290 touchdowns. And boy, you want to get old timers.
290 touchdowns?
You want to get old timers talking about football and quarterbacks. Bring up Johnny Unitas, boy. They will spare you to death with Johnny Unitas facts. This is just odd, but I'll say this: September 18th. I'm going to go way back.
Okay.
1848. Baseball ruled the first baseman can tag a base for an out instead of the runner.
Oh.
Don't know why that's impressive, but it just was when I read it. So there you go. Couple birthdays. Birthday today, Rick Pitino, 1952, was born in New York City, New York. The great Rick Pitino. And 1971, Lance Armstrong.
Oh,
Today
dude.
is Lance Armstrong's birthday.
One of the
Happy
greatest.
birthday, Lance.
One of the greatest 30 for 30s you've ever
That's a
seen
great
on
one.
ESPN is the Lance Armstrong 30 for 30. It's a 2-part. It's
Honestly,
phenomenal.
I will say it's great, but you hyped it up to be so much more than what it is. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it was good. I'm going to give you props.
Dude,
that was really
it
good.
was-
That was really good.
I don't know which ones you like. I mean, he didn't have a mustache in it, and he wasn't.
Hush
you know,
it.
like it
That was
wasn't.
lie.
It
That was
wasn't.
right.
It wasn't.
Well,
And it was no Last
Look,
Dance.
was he
I'll just
was
say
he a
that.
cocky asshole? Yeah, I mean that's maybe why you didn't
Yeah.
agree with it. But I mean that documentary, because I didn't know all that about Lance Armstrong. You know,
Me
and
neither.
cycling.
Well, yeah, none of us
cycling
did.
was terrible before Lance Armstrong.
Right.
Right.
You know, and then it goes into all the stuff he's done for cancer research. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you're torn between liking this guy that is just
Who's done a lot.
who's done a lot, but he's a complete dick. You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
so I thought it was very
And then
interesting.
lied
I
about
liked it.
everything.
Well, and what's
too.
great is when you read the line, it says Lance Armstrong, American road cyclist, banned for illegal drug use, born in Plano, Texas.
Yes, that's
Well, you know his son
so
plays
bad.
right down the road at Rice
Yeah, I know.
University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I will say,
watch that 30 for 30. It's weird. He's like, oh, I didn't even know his number. Like,
yeah, I know. Great,
I know.
Great,
I
Dad.
know.
Thanks. Yeah, no, he said his number, and then it was the right. He was like, "No, Dad, my number's actually whatever it
Yeah.
was," and he's like, "Oh, my bad."
so bad.
But for me, a death today, September 18th, 2002, Cowboy great Bob Hayes.
Okay.
Bob Hayes, American athlete, 2-time Olympic gold, 100 meter, 4x100 meter, and Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Well, sorry about the Cowboys,
Yeah,
Bob
sorry.
Hayes.
Oh,
Bob
sorry
Hayes
about
was a
that.
great.
Well,
2002.
You just have Cowboys updates, from anything?
I can if you want me to. I can give you more. You ready?
you don't have to
Oh, I thought you were
spit 'em
asking
out,
for 'em.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Maybe I need to give a little.
Please, no!
Thank you, Johnny.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. This has
Yeah.
been fun.
Again,
been
we're
up on
coming
the
to you
TV.
live
Yeah.
from Christmas Tailgate here on Kirby, 5114 Kirby, and I appreciate you guys paying attention. A lot of you guys, we tried to get to as many questions you guys said as possible, but we're here on Fridays. I think every Friday now, but I'll let you guys
7
know.
p.m. Yeah.
Follow us on Sports with Balls on Facebook. We're on YouTube,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Everywhere.
Anything Cowboys, just ask Grant.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll be glad to.
Sports with Ball on
let
Twitter.
you-
Sports
let
with
you know.
Ball.
Sports with Ball.
Sports with
Just
Ball.
one. But yeah, thanks for joining us again. Come hang out with us. We're the speakers.
I need a
Absolutely.
shot.
Hanging
I need a
out.
shot. Johnny, you want a shot?
Come get him a
Johnny
shot.
hadn't done that. Johnny did that last time. He didn't do it this
I think
time.
we're doing it. All
I
right.
gave tequila shots.
We're going to get out of here. For Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, Grant Miles, this is Sports with Balls.
See you Monday.
We out.
Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and